The mouse trembled helplessly before the lion's terrifying gaze, knowing she should simply accept her fate. But something deep inside her small heart refused to give up hope. With all the courage she could gather, she looked up at the mighty king with desperate, pleading eyes. The lion paused unexpectedly. He saw something remarkable in those tiny eyes looking up at him. It was not just fear that he saw there. There was hope, determination, and a desperate will to survive against all odds. For a brief moment, something unfamiliar stirred within his hardened heart. The lion carefully considered his options. Eating such a small creature would bring him absolutely no satisfaction whatsoever. It would be like swallowing a single grain of sand. With a low growl, the lion lifted his heavy paw and set her free. The mouse looked up with overwhelming gratitude, then quickly scurried away into the safety of the tall grass. Many peaceful days passed since that fateful encounter between the two unlikely creatures. The lion had long forgotten about the tiny mouse who had once disturbed his sleep. Life continued exactly as it always had in the savannah. He hunted, he rested, and he ruled his vast kingdom with absolute authority. But unknown to the proud lion, terrible danger was quietly approaching his territory. Human hunters had entered the savannah, searching desperately for the legendary lion whose powerful roar echoed across the land. They wanted to capture him and take him far away from his home forever. Under the cover of darkness, the hunters worked silently and carefully. They found the lion's favorite resting spot beneath the old acacia tree. There, they laid their deadly trap, a massive net made of thick, incredibly strong ropes, spread across the ground and covered perfectly with leaves and grass. The next morning arrived peacefully, like any other beautiful day in the savannah. The lion stretched his powerful body lazily and yawned widely, revealing his impressive teeth. He was hungry and ready for a new day of ruling his kingdom. Without any suspicion of danger, he walked confidently toward his usual resting place beneath the familiar acacia tree. The moment his heavy paws touched the hidden trap, everything changed dramatically. The net sprang up violently from the ground, wrapping tightly around his entire body. The lion roared in complete shock and terrible fury at his situation. He thrashed violently with all his might, trying desperately to break free, but the strong ropes only tightened more around him. He bit at the ropes with his mighty teeth and clawed at them with all his incredible strength, but it was completely useless. The great king of the savannah was totally helpless and trapped. Far across the vast savannah, the little mouse heard a very familiar sound carried by the wind. It was a roar, but not a roar of power and authority like she remembered. It was a roar filled with pain, fear, and desperate hopelessness. She recognized that voice immediately, without any doubt. It was the lion who had so generously spared her life all those days ago. Without a single moment of hesitation, the brave mouse ran toward the distant sound as fast as her tiny legs could carry her. When she finally arrived at the scene, her small heart broke at the terrible sight before her eyes. The mighty lion lay tangled hopelessly in thick ropes, completely exhausted and without hope. The mouse wasted no precious time at all. She climbed onto the net and began gnawing determinedly at the ropes with her small but incredibly sharp teeth. The little mouse chewed and chewed without stopping for even a moment, her tiny jaws working tirelessly through the night. One rope finally broke apart, then another followed shortly after. The lion watched in complete amazement as the tiny creature worked so hard to set him free. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the last rope snapped loudly. The net fell away completely, and the lion was free at last. He stood up slowly on shaking legs, looking down at the exhausted little mouse who had collapsed from her tremendous effort. The mighty king had learned the most important lesson of his entire life. True strength does not come from size or power alone. It comes from kindness, courage, and the precious bonds we form with others. From that day forward, the lion and the mouse became the most unlikely but truest of friends, proving that no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted.